Call this meeting to order. Please silence your electronic devices and stand for the invocation given by Councilmember Pacino, please.
Instead of our normal prayer, I've brought you a poem. Okay. Memorial Day will be celebrated a week from today on May 31st, remembering all those who lost their lives in service to our country. I watched the flag pass by one day. It fluttered in the breeze. A young Marine saluted it, and then he stood at ease. I looked at him in uniform, so young, so tall, so proud. He would have stood out in any crowd. I thought about how many men like him have fallen through the years, how many had died on foreign soil, how many mothers' tears, how many pilots' planes shot down, how many died at sea, how many foxholes were soldiers' graves. No, freedom is not free. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Public comments?
Yes.
All speakers should have signed up in advance with the city clerk. Each speaker will use the podium right there. If you're wearing a mask, you can take it off while you're at the podium, and then if you're comfortable, you can put it back on, so that will help us hear you better. Please state your name and address before beginning your statement. Each speaker will be limited to 5 minutes. Please address your comments to the chair. Council will not engage in debate with the speaker. On the first bell, that means you have 30 seconds left. Please wrap that up, because on the second bell, I'm going to have to stop you, okay?
Bill Boyd.
My name is Bill Boyd, reside at 4 Hart Street. I want to bring the idea of a disc golf course in a Batavia City park possibility. Virgin has one, Pembroke has one. We have so many parks around here where you could fit a 9-hole course. So there's a lot that could go into that. The popularity of the sport is on a huge rise. COVID might have destroyed a lot of things, but it made the popularity of disc golf insane. Already in Buffalo, they're putting in 3 new courses this year. Rochester has 4 on the move. They're going up everywhere, and I thought, why not join the club for that? Putting in a disc golf course. The community is a great community. You have no problems inside of it. For funding on this, pretty much all of the courses, they go out to different like restaurants or stuff to sponsor a hole. They will pay the money for the actual basket, disc golf basket, and then the people that want to do it will put it in. So pretty much I would just need the permission, whatever park is possible, to install everything, the tee pads, the baskets. That's pretty much all it would come down to. There's really nothing I need from the city other than permission to put it in. And I would be able to get a group of guys together. Like I said, all the Facebook pages for it, like nothing. Just put up a post, hey, we're doing a work day. You'll get like 15 people out there. You're able to install everything. It would probably only take like 3 weeks at most to install everything. And it's pretty much the main part of it. Are there any questions?
How much room do you need?
Yeah. Really not that much. I mean, Centennial could hold an 18-hole course. And it's not even in the way, like, obviously for like the concerts in Centennial, you would just close down the course for the time of the concert. Like, there's things you can do to get around it. But easily, 18-hole course could go into Centennial. 9-hole would be easier just because it would be less in the way for people walking their dogs and such. But Aquinas would be a good park for it. The sand wash over at DeWitt Park, that would be a possibility. I mean, you really don't need that much space.
Well, the DeWitt is the county's park, but can I make a suggestion? Maybe is when we're done here, if you can contact the city manager and maybe present your ideas and work with city management and the parks and see if maybe, what we can, get some more information on it.
Yeah,
and then maybe that's something we could consider, and then if we got volunteers, and we can start that going. It might take a while to get started, but you got to start sometime, right?
Exactly. That's why I came here tonight.
Right, yeah, I think it's a great idea. Present it, And get a hold of the city manager, Rachel, she's sitting right there, you can get her contact information, and then, start with that and go from there and see what we can do.
Sounds good. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
What kind of costs are you looking at for general liability insurance to indemnify the city and hold us harmless?
That would be something I'd have to talk later on with someone else about that whole idea.
I'm guessing the municipalities probably take on that liability, just like we do with the walking trail in the parks
Well,
themselves.
we're always liable, but I mean, it'd be a private, is it going to be run as a private enterprise?
No,
Public,
it would
but-
be in public, would be in public
Yeah.
space, yeah.
Like having a playground in
Yeah,
the park.
yeah, exactly.
So instead of using the slide, you're just using the devices to throw the frisbee to,
Yeah, yep.
Now, do people like own their own frisbees? Is that?
Oh, yeah, yep. You own all your
So
own.
the only ones that would be in the park would be the baskets, basically, just the means of playing the game.
Yep.
People would bring their own frisbees
Yep.
and things like that.
Yeah.
it's worth at least exploring with the city manager and at least getting some more information on and see what we're into. I mean, I'd be willing to listen to that.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
I've been dying to play it myself. I played it on the Wii right then. I want to do it for real.
Come out anytime.
All right, so yeah, thank you very much, and make sure you get that information, follow up with her, and then she will be in communication with us if she needs anything on our end.
All right, thank you so much for your time.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. Any other responses to?
Sounds
Oh,
good.
that's good. Check out Farrell Park. I mean, it's, trees, nothing.
There's plenty of park space, it's just a matter of where we want to put it. So
Right.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, I do too.
And the more people
Absolutely.
get involved and help with volunteering, that makes it
Better.
easier, and then they take ownership of it and keep it nice, and then
Yep.
it's a good
Yeah,
thing.
sounds good.
No maintenance involved in the city's part.
No, it'd be just like any other thing. Communications.
Just Kings submitted their application for another chicken barbecue this Saturday, May 29th at 1 PM in Williams Park. The normal chicken barbecue format, similar to the last time they had one.
Now, I see they made an addition here, and they crossed out the 25th. On the second page, they still have the 25th, so I assume setup and tear down is going to be the same as the 29th.
Yes,
And that's what
it's
it was.
29th.
So, I mean, it's just a typo, but I mean, just to make sure.
Correct, yes,
It's
it's
kind of
definitely the
official
29th.
document. We're going
Yep.
to put this in a file somewhere, so make sure that's correct.
Yes.
Anyone else have any concerns about the thing? Okay, and next one?
Blue Pearl Yoga submitted their application to have 1-hour yoga classes. It would be Tuesdays and Thursdays from 7 to 8 in Centennial Park, running from June 1st to September 30th. I believe they did this last year as well. They will be made aware that 8-5 is not available because of the corporate cup.
Right. So they'll need the park for that. Okay, any questions or concerns on that? All right, next.
Received an application for Glow Out 5K. This would be on Thursday, June 10th, 6:30 to 8:30 PM. Would begin and end at Centennial Park. And it is the same route as the corporate cup. He asked to use that same route from the sponsors of the corporate cup, and they did provide that to him, so it would be the same,
I see the map
Same outline.
the map looks like the same, pretty much.
yes.
Any questions on that? Okay, and the next one?
This is the Glow Out Parade. This would be on Saturday, June 12th, 10 to 11 a.m. Would start at Elva Place and ending at Dwyer Stadium.
And there's a map there, of it, right?
Correct.
And any questions or concerns on that? Okay, the next one?
Home to Home Concert Series on July 3rd, Saturday, 1 to 5 in Jackson Square. This is part one of a series of concerts sponsored by the McDonald's, Genesee County Chamber of Commerce, and Go Art.
Any questions or concerns on that?
I saw something the other day, and I think is this the last time they're doing it, or, I think it was yesterday I
No,
saw.
that's something different. They did, during COVID, they did a virtual concert series.
Is that what
online.
they said they weren't going to do anymore? I just
Right, they're just taking a hiatus from that, from the online, from my.
Thanks, John.
Anyone else? Okay, and the final one?
The last one, Genesee Symphony Orchestra submitted their application for a 75th anniversary kickoff and new logo event on Saturday, July 17th, 4 to 7 p.m. in Austin Park.
Any questions on that?
If we're done with that, I'd just like to make a mention that for the parade, everything's in place. Ray has the permits with the state. We're all set. However, RSVPs have been very poor this year. A lot of people have asked, but I've only had maybe a dozen come back so far. So I have vehicles lined up for any veterans that want to ride and anybody that wants to ride. So, you know, when you get away from something for a year, it's like everything stopped. The whole world just stopped.
I don't know how many bands were able to practice and, you know, so we should,
High school bands.
maybe we should, you know, maybe put that on our webpage and remind people that we're having something, and if they want to participate, now's the time to get a hold of us, because come Monday, just showing up, it'll be kind of chaotic.
Oh, it always is anyways.
Right. And also, just to answer, in case you're concerned, the costs of all these events are on the back page of your agenda, and it basically is very minimal costs, and they are covered by the people applying for you know, letting us know they're having the event. They're covering the cost at this point. So there's just a couple, nothing is more than $510, I think was the highest one, and they're covering that cost. Okay. The next city council business meeting will be held on Monday, June 14th, 7 p.m., City Hall Council Boardroom, second floor, City Center, and budget amendments for parking lots. City Manager.
Council President, the memo you have in front of you is requesting that we authorize a budget amendment pledging $70,000 from the parking lot reserves to pave the following parking lots: Center Street, Canale, and Lions Park. These were originally scheduled for 2021.
Just for the record,
It's-
it's nothing to do with me, it's the old Canales Bar.
No.
There you go.
No conflict of interest. And we did not originally plan on including them in the 21-22 budget, but after getting through some work plans with Ray and DPW, we decided that we could get these done this year. So we're asking that we authorize this reserve spending.
And that totals to the $69,700.
Correct.
Any questions or concerns on that?
Sounds good.
Would this be money that would be able to charge back to the COVID relief as a construction cost, or?
In the future, possibly. Right now, we don't have all the rules and regulations ready to go. But some of these, as you can see, there's a lot of work that needs to be done in our downtown parking lots. And because they would support the downtown businesses, we might be able to do one or two of these with the COVID funds we get.
Okay, great.
Sounds good.
Okay, any other questions or concerns? So we in consensus to move that to the next business meeting for a vote?
Yes.
Okay, that gets moved. Casilla Waste Management of New York.
Thank you, Council President. We had an offer from Casella, a gentleman who's lived in our community for many years, Mr. Jeff Piro, who wanted to support and give back to the community during COVID and the budgetary crisis by having his garbage pickup service our parks and the Main Street garbage cans. So I was lucky enough to meet with him and understand what he wanted to provide. Then he worked with DPW to talk about how that would work on a daily basis. And we wrote a agreement. The service will be provided for free to the city for garbage pickup.
Any questions or concerns? John?
Just a question in regards to, if we allow them to do this and we enter into this agreement, first of all, does that mean that we're not asking the citizens then to carry in, carry out? Is that going to cancel that out, or?
No, we still have carry in, carry out of the pavilions. So when you use a pavilion on the weekends, we're not doing rentals, we're not approving overtime with DPW staff and park staff. So if you go and have a picnic with your family, you're still going to carry in, carry out. However, we still have garbage cans in the parks around the playground areas and high-use areas.
Which is,
Which is what they would service, yes.
And that also is a misunderstanding, I think, amongst the public. I've had a number of comments come back to me that, how come there's no garbage cans in the park? I said, there are. I look at one every day and through my sliding glass door. So I think people misunderstand that, what our original intentions were, so that's why I bring that up. Another, for lack of a better term, concern, I guess, too, is I know that Casella wants to actually label the garbage cans, courtesy of, service courtesy of them, which I don't have a problem with. I just don't want to set a precedent that where other organizations may want to volunteer their services and put up some type of an advertisement in the park as well. I want to make sure that we don't set a precedent where we start to advertise for various organizations or businesses that want to volunteer their services to the city. I'm in the advertising business, so one would think that I want to advertise all the time, but I don't want our park to become a billboard either. So just a concern there. If it's just a small placard on there, says service courtesy of, I don't have a big problem with that. I just want to make sure that we don't set precedent for future endeavors. My third concern would be if we enter into this agreement and we find out that it's not what we thought it was, do we have a clause in there that we can cancel that agreement at any time?
We do, we're able to cancel the agreement. 60 days
60
written
days.
notice without cause. If you have cause, we could cancel immediately, and city staff would be ready to go back and service the garbage in the parks.
Thanks.
Rosemary?
I received, and I think we all did, from Steve and Danielle Clark concerning this, and then I received a call from Kathleen Worthington, who's very upset with this. There's problems with years ago when Peril had it. I really don't want to get into it too much. It's just, for instance, they were supposed to put up a fence around their property over there on Webster Avenue, and they never did. And some people, when they would forget their trash to pick it up, they would go down and put it on the sidewalk. Then there was odors, and it was just different things that had creeped up. And these people are against it.
Hold on, Patty first.
Oh, I would be remiss if I didn't say I had 3 calls. I got the letter, plus I had 3 calls from people who said, please don't do this. We had them before, and they were awful, and they showed up when they wanted to and didn't. And I don't know that for a fact. I'm passing along what my constituents said.
I had some too.
I think everyone's misunderstanding that Casella is a separate company. Mr. Pirro works for them. He's not owned Casella. And I think it's a great idea that they're picking up for free.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
should
yeah.
say thank you, and see how it goes. If it doesn't work out, then we figure something out.
This is not the old company under a new
This is
name.
not trash
no,
away.
no,
Mr.
no.
Pirro
This
works-
is-
Mr.
no,
Pirro works for
Casella.
Casella.
It's not,
Casella.
right.
Thank you.
And they're doing,
Casella bought his business from
That's
him
right.
a few years back,
Okay.
and they offered him a job, from my understanding, they offered him a job as a manager to work for them, so it's actually the company that is offering the service to the city. So I don't think that we should judge the new company.
No,
Okay,
no,
the
no,
old
no,
company.
no.
Okay.
I have Casellas, and they're very reliable.
Oh, good.
Very reliable.
I agree with Paul.
yeah. I
Good.
think
Yeah.
they're misunderstanding the whole thing.
Exactly,
It's
exactly.
It's a wonderful gesture on their part. And obviously they want to show some goodwill towards the community.
Well, sure.
Right.
So why not take advantage of it? I agree with Paul, and if
Let's
there's a
say
problem, that's
thank
why I
you,
agree.
and-
That's why I asked, can we get out of the contract at this
Yeah.
point? Because if we can, why not take advantage of it? If for some reason there is a problem, we can address it.
Yeah,
Right. There is a clause in here.
I'll just say thank you.
yeah.
There is a clause in here, so we can.
Bob, you wanted to comment?
Yeah, I have a couple questions, but one, I think in the contract, just to, like Robert Frost said, good fences make good neighbors, we had to spell things out. What color are they going to paint the receptacles? And if the contract is terminated or any other thing, will they repaint this receptacles back? So just something to consider.
They're also modifying and putting the handles on them too, so I don't know if that's an issue, but I'm just saying.
I think, if it's spelled out, the receptacles are going to be painted blue, that's fine. I don't want to see a bright fluorescent orange and everybody saying, no, then we'll have people, here's.
Got something to say.
So then, the questions I had is,
The receptacles, the trash barrels that are in the parks will be painted dark blue.
perfect.
Good.
The handles are the liners or the plastic liners, whether inside the trash barrels, whether on Main Street within the cage receptacle.
So they can grab them and dump them easy or whatnot?
Yes.
Okay, the questions, I have two questions. How often are the downtown receptacles emptied now?
Once a week.
Okay, and who does that?
DPW.
And how often are the parks?
During the summer season, daily.
And DPW does that?
Yes.
So we say thank you.
Right.
Yeah, it's free.
The only other concern I have is, what about other trash companies that said, we didn't get a chance, we'd like to donate too, why can't we
That's their problem.
put our sign on there? And so, I mean, are we gonna have a rotation, you know, or are we gonna?
No, it's
I mean,
the
that's my only concern is that,
Unsolicited offer, and we're,
well, I know that, and
essentially
they were the ones who
a
thought of it
gift.
first.
It's the early
so-
bird gets the worm.
Right,
That's
but I
right.
mean, there is
Sorry.
out there that, you know, do we give everybody a chance? That's my only concern is, and I've learned that in my life, that, you know, you make a leeway for one situation, and then you end up with a lot of people upset on the other side. So then
volunteer
it's
this.
better to just say, nice, thank you for the offer, but we're just gonna like do our own thing and whatever. I'm just throwing that out there because I just don't want to see
I don't
other
think that's
companies
gonna
be
bother
upset
me.
and that we're
I
not
don't
giving
think
them a
that's
chance
gonna bother
to
me.
advertise too. Just
we
a
have
thought.
other opportunities, though, Mr. President. I mean, people can offer to put in some sidewalks, pave some
There you go.
That's right.
There you
Well,
go.
I just don't want to end up with, you know, signs on the side of a police car because they do our wash, they give our free car washes.
Right, and that was
You know,
my
I mean,
point,
it
too,
gets to a
right?
point where when does it become so commercialized that what are we doing?
Right.
You gotta use common sense.
Well, that's my thing, that's my thing. So
Exactly.
when you go down this road, which we are going down,
Right.
there are other pitfalls and other potholes in that road that you probably aren't thinking about. That, I'm just throwing that out there. I totally agree. It's an awesome thing, and it's worth a try for a summer and save a little money and let somebody help out their community. So I totally agree.
That's right.
I think it's great.
We did get those letters, that it is from the old company.
It's
Right.
from the old company, that's right.
As long as they vet properly, I don't have a problem with it.
Well, if there's another garbage company out there that wants to one-up them, they could offer to pick up everybody's
That's
garbage
right.
once a week.
There you go.
I'm
I
ready.
wasn't trying to make it difficult, I was just trying
There
to,
you go.
Well, the city does have other dumpsters, so another trash company,
That's for sure.
I was just trying to be the bearer of, you know,
right?
bad news.
Another trash
Besides-
company could take over the dumpsters, too.
And try to do something nice.
So are we in consensus then to move this to the?
Yes,
vote?
yes.
Okay, this will give us a couple more weeks for the public to weigh in. If we've missed something somewhere, this will give some more time for that to happen, and we'll move that forward to the business meeting. Okay? The next one is the various committees and boards.
The last item on the agenda tonight is the appointment of the Audit Advisory Board. We do this annually every year. The appointees are Nicholas Harris, Mark Staley, Paul Bataglia, council members Bykowski and Jankowski.
All right.
I gave you guys all a notice. If anybody wants to take my spot, you're more than welcome to, but I thought it would be a way for me to, you know, get reacquainted with the budget and reacquainted with our finances. It's something I like to do to, every once in a while, to just help me understand.
I've done it twice and it's,
It's eye-opening from
yeah,
what I
it's
understand.
eye-opening and you learn a lot. You learn a lot.
That's what I'm looking forward to,
Yeah.
so. All right, any other questions or concerns? Nope. So we move that to the business meeting as well? Okay.
I'll make them, oh, yeah.
Would you take us into executive session, please?
Certainly. Whereas Article 7, Section 105(1)F of the Public Officers Law permits the legislative body of a municipality to enter into executive session to discuss the medical, financial, credit, or employment history of a particular person or corporation, or matters leading to the appointment, employment, promotion, demotion, discipline, suspension, dismissal, or removal of a particular person or corporation. Now therefore be it resolved by the council of the city of Batavia that upon approval of this motion, the city council does hereby enter into executive session.
Seconded by Mrs. Christian. And call the roll, please.
Councilmember Casino,
Yes.
Canali,
Yes.
Briggs,
Yes.
Christian.
Yes.
Bykowski.
Yes.
Jankowski.
Yes.
Veely.
Yes.